What's going on, family? It's the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tapping into another episode. As you can see by the title, we're picking up the signs through the houses series, and we picking it up with where we at with it. Scorpio in the fifth house. All right, Scorpio in the fifth house. So before we get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe. All right, let's circulate these gems. Make sure to tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Tap into my website to connect with the Lucky Libra. All right, let's get right into it. Scorpio in the fifth house. So this is my Cancer risings. This is my Cancer risings. All right. Now, when we look at the fifth house, what is the fifth house? The fifth house rules how we deal with creative expression, self-expression, artistic expression, the things that influence us creatively, how we deal with being on the stage, or how we, embrace, or what we may attract and experience when it comes to situations in our life being center stage, having the eyes on us, having attention, how we conduct ourselves in the stage. All right. This house also correlates to all creative matters, the relationship with the inner child. All right. Childlike activity, period. This house rules how you like to have fun. This house rules how you like to have fun. All right. So when we throw Scorpio in here, Scorpio, Scorpio's energy, for one, it's ruled by Mars. You need to know where Mars is at. If you have Scorpio in the fifth house, you need to know where Mars is at, because Mars rules your fifth house. And whatever house you have Mars in, it's going to be bringing them experiences into the fifth house. Now, that's what you need to know there. So Mars is already what? Aggressive, direct, forceful, passionate, intentional. You can expect that from this individual in the fifth house. They may have a natural knack for feeling for, or not even a knack, but they may have an intuition for feeling like they have to be intentional within their fifth house, that there's something that they need to make sure they put into the light. There's something that they need to make sure they express. All right. Now that comes with Mars being the ruler here. But the fact that it's being the ruler of Scorpio's more dark. Scorpio's comfortable in the dark. Is comfortable with the demons and the monsters and the devils and the outcasted and the people that can't just be walking in the daylight. All right? So Scorpio could know how to hang with them. They cool enough to hang with them. But overall, it deals with more of an occult, behind the scenes energy. The fifth house is the lighthouse. It is the stage. It is where the cameras is on you. So when Scorpio is in here, this person may have a real deep, passionate, emotional connection. Sacred connection is water. Water deals with connection and understanding. And we know everything is deep, dark, and intense with Scorpio. They may have a real deep, sacred connection with their creativity, and then because Scorpio doesn't like to be in the light, now this creates, potential for any insecurities or heavy, deep thinking, or, when it comes to creative expression, these people may not be, off the rip so open to be in the stage, to be in the spotlight. Scorpio in the fire houses. Scorpio in the fifth house. When we're talking about fifth house energies, when it's time for these individuals to be in the fifth house, to be on the stage, to have everybody look at them, they want to be calculated, intentional, handle what they got to handle on the stage. Boom. Back to connecting to my creativity or whatever it is, in my solitude or whatnot. So, these people be creative as a mother, creative as hell, because Scorpio rules what we can't see. Scorpio rules what we can't see to the naked eye, but what you could feel. Scorpio's dealing with power and control issues. Scorpio's dealing with deep passion. Scorpio is dealing with transformation. Think about incorporating all of these themes into movies, into music, into poetry, into painting, into your art, into public speaking, into motivational speaking. Mars. So remember, if Mars is the ruler here, so if the fifth house deals with expression, if Mars is ruling, imagine the passion this person probably has in their aura when they're on the stage. All right? So think about how penetrating their art can be, how penetrating that album can be. You got to look at it from that perspective. You got to look at it from the perspective like this. If Scorpio don't like to be behind the scenes and they're dealing with the eighth house, with the things under the bed, in the closet, you know, the secrets, the things that's more private, the things dealing with the occult, the things dealing with emotional, the transformation of the internal energies of the feelings and emotions. Now, what happens when that does come into the light? But through a creative way, you know, through an artistic way, through a motivational, passionate, and inspiring way. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's penetrating. It's moving. All right. So Cancer rising, man, that's that energy. That Cancer energy, strong sun, moon, or rising. You know, and when you got Scorpio falling around this fifth house, this is what you got here. Now, let's say this person has alignments that negates some of what I'm saying with this person having to break through insecurities or situations, getting their creativity or how they deal with their expression past the dark, you know, breaking through like that energy of possibly feeling uncomfortable, timid, worrisome, nervous, or whatever when it comes to expressing themselves and being in the light, uncomfortable, whatever it is. Let's say you got some alignments that, let's say you got like, you know, fire, air in the chart. Let's say your fifth house is lit up though. Let's say you got Scorpio in there, but you got your sun, your Mars in there. You know, you got Venus in there. You know, that's going to make you more passionate and active. Now you got the sun is making you more expressive and active if you actually a Scorpio in there. But if, let's say if whatever placements that could set up that could negate more of you being able to break through that, woo, you got some dynamite actors and actresses here. Passionate artists, influential, because they're gonna do things differently here. They're gonna be individual here. They're gonna possibly is a high potential for them to rub people the wrong way through an individual perspective, a real perspective, a blunt perspective through their art, their music. They could be a little rebellious when it comes to their art too. Once again, the Scorpio here, they could deal with some power and control issues when it comes to the being on the stage. You know, you the star of a cast on the show, and then like they just try to change your character to look crazy in some type of shape or form, and now you're going through power and control issues of how you want to look on the show and how you want your character development to be, like shit like that. You know, little power and control issues here and there when it comes to situations with you being on the stage or whatnot. Now, you know, this person, now when we talk about the relationship with the inner child through the fifth house, Scorpio goes deep. So Scorpio goes so deep that, you know, that connection with the inner child it could be what, you know, they thrive off, and you'll never know. They'll be connecting to the inner child and don't need nobody else to connect with them with that, or do the things that they doing with the inner child with themselves. Like they do that in their own solitude, whether it's through their art, how they like to have fun. They could possibly be more individual when it comes to having fun or whatnot. So we got that going on there. When we got Scorpio in the fifth house, so yeah, they're gonna have a tight, deep bond with the inner child. But they got to make sure that their passions and motives to accomplish what they want to do with creative endeavors doesn't neglect the inner child. So they got to make sure that the passion, because Mars just gets deep with things. Scorpio goes deep with things. Pluto's here, so it's influencing, breaking through, transforming and rebirths when it comes to your creative expression, self-expression. So this person could just start, especially if they got Scorpio placements, they could start developing or strong Mars energy. So they're an Aries sun. Or their Mars is in the first house or something. You know, Mars in the 10th house. Woo! Mars in the 10th house. It's going to be real devoted, passionate to accomplish things in the creative realm. But you got to make sure it don't take away from the connection that you have with your art. And you're always in a space where you could deal with your art in a harmonious way. Scorpio in the 5th house is going to may go through a lot of transformations, what it does creatively. Artist, this chapter of their life. Actor, this chapter of their life. Public speaker, this chapter of their life. And teaching astrology, this chapter. Like they may go through a lot of transformations with what they deal with on the stage, you know, because they develop strong passions and intentions in this area, and they dive into them. Even Scorpio takes his time a little bit more, but Mars influence in the 5th house can just be intense. So we got, but that's like the main theme here, Scorpio in the 5th house, breaking through any insecurities, getting what you want to creatively express and put on the stage in the light. You got to know what Scorpio in this house, especially if you got water placements. You a Cancer sun moon, you're a Pisces sun moon, you a Earth sun moon, you know, you like a Taurus or Virgo sun moon. You got to understand that when you have Scorpio here, when it comes to your passions, or when you got that feeling that people may not absorb your energy in the creative realm the right way, because what you giving off is intense, is heavy, is individual, is deep. You got to know that's connecting you to a space with people that's in your realm. There's always going to be people to connect to with your energy. And the more we display things in the 5th house, we create portals and opportunities to connect to these soulmates, like-minded individuals. So you got to understand that Scorpio in the 5th house, there are going to be people that resonate with your intensity, with your rebellious individual views, through your art, through what you creatively express, through what you express in your life, period, things dealing with your individual self-expression. These people could be real mysterious with their creative self-expression. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, The Weeknd is a Cancer rising. I wouldn't be surprised because he's creative as hell, but, like, you know, he was real mysterious behind the scenes when he first came out. Or if he probably be like a Scorpio rising or some shit, you know. These people can be very enticing and passionate when it comes to sexually connecting with them too. Yeah, they could be overwhelming. They could be very passionate in that area. They're just passionate to deal with the creative realm, period. This is the thing. Scorpio in the 5th house is going to be passionate wherever it's at. It's just that the 5th house deal with being in the light. So they're going to be passionate about the 5th house with the creative aspect to it, creating things. When they're creating things in life, they become very devoted and motivated to do that. They be motivated to make the art, make the music, you know, connect with the individual. But it's like when you start putting things in the light, they want things to be more private behind the scenes. So whatever area of your chart you have Scorpio in, is going to be more behind the scenes. So you actually have to anticipate you fighting for light here. You fighting to get your creativity in the light. You fighting to get your album seen, heard. You may experience power and control issues with that. All right. So you got to understand that there. But if there's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. All right, guys. So, yeah, Scorpio's going to go through them changes and transformations in that area, man. They might like real sexy, deep, passionate. What's the word? I got a word right here. Taboo forms of music, raunchy forms of comedy and movies and films, or suspenseful shit as well, but especially dealing with sex or deep, gravitating, penetrating, explicit like shit. They may like that in the creative realm. You know, may like watching the movies and shit with nudity and this discretion is advised type shit. If that shit says discretion is advised before it start, Scorpio placements, they like that shit. Scorpio in the 5th house is gonna like that movie. They gonna watch the second episode. You know, they gonna watch the second episode after the first episode. All right. But yeah, that's what we got going on, all right? You know, they probably like listening to music like Old Dirty Bastard and shit like that. Like, you know, real nigga shit. Like, Scorpio in the 5th house, guys. That's what we got going on. Like, share, subscrizzle. All right, let's circulate these gems. All right, next we're going to be picking it up. Next, we're going to be picking up with what we got. Sag in the 5th house, all right? Bringing fire back to a fire element house. All right, so until next time, family. Oh, yeah, make sure, you know, tap into the Patreon to dive deeper. All right, and tap into my website to connect with the lucky Libra. Until next time, family. Peace.